Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M, and I'm back with yet another video. Today, what are we gonna do today? Today, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to thank you, first of all of you, all 1,006 or 7 of you, for subscribing and getting me monetized. That's one of the reasons why I'm here to get today, and that's one of the reasons that's one of the things. What are we gonna do today? That's one of them. I want to say thank you. This is my video where this is my first video that I've done monetized after the monetization. So, and I have you all to thank for that. And I wanted to do a little coffee break just to celebrate and again express my gratitude. I couldn't have done it without you. I am so grateful. You guys are awesome, amazing, wonderful, stupendous, tremendous, marvelous, and etc., and so on and so forth. So that's that. I'm not going to get mushy, but I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to talk some shit too. So that's another reason why I'm here today. I wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to talk about the recently released Napoleon movie by somebody named Ridley Scott. Honestly and truly, I haven't really, I don't know much about this person, the director of this recent Napoleon movie. But we're going to talk about it a little bit today in today's coffee break. And I especially want your opinions in the comments. All 1,000 and however many of you there are. Now, when you look at my channel, just this page here, you're not going to be able to see exactly how many I have. It's just going to say like it says 1K here. It's a little more than 1K. It's like I said, it's 1,006, 1,007, but I guess it's going to say 1K until it becomes 2K. And that's, I guess, just how they roll at YouTube. But I don't know if I'll be giving you updates or just we'll have to wait another year and a half until it becomes 2K. I don't know. Let's hope not. Let's hope that people start subscribing more regularly and more frequently. But that's that. That's why we're here today. I'm saying thank you, and we're going to talk about Napoleon, which I haven't watched, and I don't know if I will. But let me do church announcements, and let me shout out my friends here on YouTube that I've met during my journey, my march, pun intended, because we're going to talk about Napoleon. My march to 1,000. I've met some very nice people who also do channels, and they analyze films, and they're just the good thinkers, really good minds, and really nice people who've been very nice to me during my journey. I want to shout them out and what they do, and this is the time, people. This is the time. It is time for you to go fire up that percolator, go get your coffee stuff together, your percolator, or if you order out, order it, and then wait however long to get your stuff, and then come back with your coffee and your donuts and your cinnamon roll or whatever, and sit down and then listen. Okay, it is time for the coffee. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new subscribers. All 1,000 and some of you, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it like you wouldn't believe. Even if I never got monetized, I'd still be doing these videos. But again, out of love. I explained that in a recent video. It's, I've done 214 videos not monetized. So it wasn't really about the money, but and trust me, there's not a lot of it. The first 2 days I've been monetized for, I think, a total of 2 days. First day, I'll tell you how much I made. 24 cents. Okay. A second day. Second day, how much was it? 43. Okay. So in 2 days, I've made like a total of 24 and 43, 24 and 4. Why can't I do math? 67 cents in the first 2 days. Y'all, that's not a lot of money, especially not in this economy. I can't even wipe my ass with 67 cents. No, just no. And I was at the supermarket today. I spent was it $3? Didn't even buy anything nice. Okay, just some vegetables. Vegetables. I got some oh, those little roasted garbanzo beans. Like you get garbanzo beans or chickpeas if you call them that. And you know, if I wasn't lazy, you open a can of them or just take cooked garbanzo beans and put them on a baking sheet, put them in the oven for however long, put a little olive oil and salt and whatever seasoning you like really on them and roast them until they get crispy. Take them out of the oven, let them cool off, and they're nice and crunchy, kind of like corn nuts, but without the smell. I got some of those. What else? Like I said, mostly vegetables and you know that those little snacks, the garbanzo bean snacks and stuff like $103. I didn't even buy meat. No, no. I mean it's crazy, but you know, hopefully that'll get better. And like I said, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video or any of my videos if you know anybody who might enjoy them. And I place special emphasis on comments. I really want your comments, especially in this one, because we're going to talk about Napoleon. I don't know if I'm going to see that thing because I've heard nothing but bad things about the Ridley Scott Napoleon movie. And I also have my principles. So I believe that this is a diss. This is an open-handed slap in the face to Stanley's memory, and I don't like that shit. Okay, but if you've seen it, I'm not telling you not to go see it. No, if you have seen it, let me know what you think, because I've seen the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Not good. I think he got a D. Okay, if I got a D in a class, I would be so ashamed of myself, which is probably going to happen with my Spanish class, but that's okay because I'm not really a student anymore, and I'm not worried about my grades at this point in my life. But but if I got a D, if I was a student, like actively, like you know, when I was a student in college or grad school or whatever, and I got a D in a class, oh, I would raise hell. You know, if I didn't think I deserved it, and I've never gotten a D. Not in college or in grad school. Never. No, if you're getting D's and you're in like a master's degree program, you need to reassess why you're there. But where was I going with this and why? I'm kind of all over the place. Lately I've been having issues. So 6 days ago I made Understanding the Shining Part 20, and you know, then Thanksgiving happened, and then I ate a bunch of pie, and, and then and the turkey was but nice and dry, just like turkey usually is. And I got back to the gym today. Got to work off all that pie, and stuffing and potatoes and all the wonderful food. But it's just like anything. Like that cartoon. Enough is too much. But I also want to celebrate my 1K achievement and monetization by not by, you know, not by talking about myself so much, because you're watching this video. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you. If you're new here, thank you for being here. If you're returning, thank you again. But I want to celebrate my friends. I want to say hello and shout out my friends and their project. I hope I don't miss anybody. I think I'm going to cover everybody that I know that I've met in my YouTube journey. And I want to highlight their stuff and their, you know, what they're doing. I want to actually send my viewers over there. No, this is not sponsored. Don't you dare. No, I don't have that yet. I don't have sponsorships yet. Again, if you're a coffee company that wants to sponsor me, you know where to find me. Just click on here and find my email and let me know. But this is for my buddies here on YouTube. And here it goes. First one on the list. This is one of Anno Domini's channels, Silent Movie Enthusiast. Please go and look at this. You know, especially if you're into silent movies. He's got a good collection of some pretty good movies from, you know, the early history of cinema. Okay, so go ahead, take a look at it. He's got all the stuff. I'm starting down here, Nosferatu, of course, the classic, The Haunted Castle, again by Murnau, Fritz Lang, Paul Wegener, The Golem. I really want to watch this one. D.W. Griffith, more Murnau, The Lost World, Georges Miele, The Devil's Castle, all kinds of awesome stuff here. Please go check out the channel, get him monetized, because I don't know, maybe like they won't let you do this. They're a little funny about putting up movies, even if they're in the public domain. But go watch these, go support Anno Domini. You know, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's got all kinds of stuff here. Fritz Lang, Dr. Mabuse. Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorites. If you're listening, Anno, Mabuse is one of my favorites. The Testament of Dr. Mabuse is one of my favorite old movies. And which one? M, also by Lang, Fritz Lang. If I don't know, I don't see M in here, but if you want to, put it in there, because I love that movie. But go watch these wonderful movies and support Anno Domini at Silent Movies Enthusiast. There's also Anno Domini's music channel, which does have more than 1,000 subscribers, but this is some different music. So if you're into different music, check this out. Okay, please check this out. This is maybe not your cup of tea, but for music aficionados, this is probably very essential. Mostly black metal music. Go check it out, because Anno is a wonderful person and sends me some wonderful resources sometimes that I think are absolutely marvelous. So thank you, Anno. Here is Deltabuilder. Deltabuilder is a dedicated individual. Deltabuilder, look at this is, you know, the header of the channel is just one example of what Deltabuilder does, and recreates these digital like computer, I don't know the technical terminology, but reconstructions of the interiors of the Overlook, or the interiors in The Shining in general. Like this is the gold room up here. This is not original to the movie. This is not for a still, I'm trying to say, from the movie. This is Deltabuilder's work. Please watch them. They're not very long movies, long videos, but they're extremely important. 10 days ago, Delta did paintings in the Overlook Hotel, which I haven't watched yet, but I have placed it on my watch list, so I'm going to be there. Don't worry. Delta. Look at this. Here are some examples. The lobby of the Overlook Hotel, the red corridor, the green corridor, the kitchen, a panoramic of the kitchen, the games room, Ullman's office. I think Durkin's garage is also 4 months ago, so it's fairly recent. Room 237, yes. The red bathroom, the green service corridor, the blood elevator, the lobby with the July 4th, 1921 photo. Oh, please, 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 please do yourself a favor. If you're a Shining aficionado, don't walk, run over to Deltabuilder's YouTube channel and subscribe and watch all of their videos. I've watched a good number of these because when I found these, I was just mesmerized by them. There's the Colorado Lounge stairs and other parts of the Colorado Lounge. Again, they're short videos, but that doesn't mean he didn't put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work into each and every one. So again, if you're a Shining aficionado, this is like required reading. This is like this is absolutely essential for you. So go check it out, subscribe, watch all of Delta's videos twice. Okay, so there's that. Also, we mustn't forget Mr. Richard, Tankard of Tales. Check this out. Please go over there and watch all their videos. They got a lot of Kubrick videos, okay? Plus some cute stuff that isn't Kubrick, but, if you're a Kubrick aficionado, if you're a Shining aficionado, or just in general Kubrick, because he's working on Lolita a lot lately. This most recent one I watched, really good, and I know he's working on more stuff. It says Lolita and the Shining 20. He mentions me. He mentions my latest, my part 20, Understanding the Shining, which thank you so much, Richard, for doing that. This is this video talks about Humbert Humbert, and as you can see the caption in the thumbnail, it says, "What if Lolita started with a burning house?" That question alone should intrigue you enough to go click on this and watch it. I've already watched it once, and you see that the little red thing is partially here again because I started watching it twice because I wanted to hear what he has to say again. Really good ideas, really good insights. Go over here, subscribe, watch all the videos. That's an order. I'm gonna turn into Sergeant Hartman. That's an order. So thank you, Richard. Thank you, all of you, because you guys are my friends and you've been supporting me. Not financially, but just, in spirit this whole time. So thank you for that. There's also, hello, Mr. Exorcist Reviews. Really awesome channel if you are an Exorcist aficionado. I'm not an Exorcist aficionado, but I am aware of The Exorcist and William Peter Blatty and the late great William Peter Blatty and the late great, recently late, Mr. William Friedkin. Check it out, okay? There's a couple of recent videos he's been doing interviews and posting interviews with Michael P. Blatty, who I believe is... Oh, good. I don't want to get it wrong. Is this William Peter Blatty's son? Oh, but it doesn't matter. Go find out. Go to Exorcist Reviews' channel, subscribe, watch all the videos. Twice, I said. Maybe 3 times, because there's a lot here. And they're not very long videos, but they're good. And like I've said in past videos, Exorcist Reviews is an Exorcist scholar. So if you want to know anything about this movie, even like minute little details, go ask Exorcist Reviews. He's the one. He's the guy who would know just about anything and everything, not just about the original movie and the novel by William Peter Blatty, but like all of the subsequent sequels and all this, the good, the bad. He knows the good, the bad, and the ugly regarding The Exorcist. So go over there. Okay, go over there. And last but definitely not least, my friend Gershom, the Warped, WWARPPD t-shirt shop. Go over here. His latest ones are Who's Tony, which I love. Oh, you come up with some good stuff, Gershom. So go over there. If you got a coin to spend it on one of these. Who's Tony? That's a good question, Gershom. Who is 20? Who's Tony? We heard about him. We've never seen Tony, but we've heard of Tony, and we've heard Tony communicating through Danny's voice, but we still don't really know who he is. I'm gonna have to research that a little bit. I've been strapped for time and patience, and because of the Thanksgiving holiday, that kind of messed me up a little bit. But I'm gonna get back into it. Okay, all the best people. Yes, your money's no good here. All the best people. What else? No, my money's no good here. See, it's okay. He saw it on the television. Yep. With regard to the cannibalism thing. And I think you've got all kinds of stuff here. It's not just t-shirts and hoodies and stickers. I think I saw a shower curtain once. So, what was that you, Gershom? Were you the one with the shiny shower curtain, or was it a something else? There's a coffee mug. See, it's okay. He saw it on the television. Okay, that's a coffee mug. But this Who's Tony? Oh, that's a good one. You could walk around town in one of those and just get people interested, in all kinds of stuff. Like, who the hell is Tony? I don't know who Tony is. I still don't know who Tony is. But please, go check out Gershom's shop here on Warped. He had some legal stuff, like cute little puns regarding legal terminology. I don't see those here, or at least they're not on the main page. But... Ooh, drinkware. Let me see. Okay. Or maybe you've kind of like edited this site or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's awesome. Okay. Who's Tony? All the best people. Your money's no good here. See, it's okay. He saw it on the television. Your money's no good here. I've been reviewing that scene recently. There's a reason why I asked Anno Domini to upload the movie M by Fritz Lang, because Stanley is referring to it in the Gold Room scene with Grady when they're on their way to the gentleman's room. But anyway, so Anno Domini, Silent Movie Enthusiast, and his music channel, Anno Domini 1991. Deltabuilder, all of Deltabuilder's videos, go watch them. That's an order. Tankard of Tales, yes. Exorcist Reviews, yes. And Gershom's merchandise store. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And once again, thank you so much for all of you who are watching and subscribe to helping me get to 1K. I am so grateful. I am so grateful and so thankful. But that's what we did. That was a very extended, what do I call them? Church announcements. Okay, I hope you've gotten your coffee stuff together by now. If it's pumpkin spice flavored, that's okay. It's none of my business. What you drink, what you smoke, that ain't none of my business. Go ahead and enjoy. Do they have pumpkin spice flavor weed? Oh, I'll need to check. But I'm just kidding. But yeah. Let me go ahead and take my own little coffee break now. Okay, that was an extended church announcements. I hope you got your coffee and your treats together, because we're gonna talk about this nonsense. Okay. Oh, here's Wikipedia asking for money. Oh God. But we're gonna talk about what I believe. I'll leave you with this before I go get my little coffee and come back. I believe that this Napoleon movie by what's his face, Ridley Scott, starring Joaquin Phoenix. I believe this is a spite project / vanity project. I've heard nothing but bad things. I don't want to insult the memory of Stanley by going to see this thing. But y'all tell me in the comments. I'll read a little bit of this. I think this is, again, a spite project, a vanity project, and and an open-handed slap in the face to Stanley Kubrick and Stanley Kubrick's memory and his body of work as one of the greatest American filmmakers of the 20th century. Y'all tell me, but they're ripping Stanley off. They're ripping him off and then pretending like this is their idea. By they, I mean Ridley and whoever helped him do this nonsense. But that's what I think. I'm gonna go get my own little coffee. You guys do the same. I'll be right back. Now I'm monetized. Now you're gonna see commercials, and YouTube just puts them there. I don't pick the companies, by the way. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Before I go for my coffee and come back and talk shit about this movie, I've been doing a little bit of experimenting. So if you're a person who has a channel, or you're trying to do the social media thing and you're having trouble getting followers and subscribers, let me tell you something. It's not because you're no good. Okay? It's not because your stuff is no good. It's because you're not willing to, I believe, this is my opinion, is because you're not willing to buy followers. So I think I cracked one little bit of the code on Instagram recently. I boosted one of my posts, the one with the Charles Dana Gibson girl, the pretty lady in the kimono. Like I said, she's my spirit animal. I want to be her one day. But I boosted that post and I spent $15, $15 to do it. I tried spending $1. I tried spending $5. Listen, Instagram will not even look in your direction unless you spend at least $15 for boosting a post. Okay, $10? No, your money's still no good there. If you only want to spend $10, $11, $12, I think $12 is when they finally say, okay, now we're going to take you a little bit seriously, $12 and above. So I spent $15, and sure enough, okay, I got when I spent $15 to boost the Charles Dana Gibson Japonette post, I got like 2 followers for every dollar I spent. So I spent $15, about 30 followers from that. Okay, so if you're trying to build up your channel, if you want to invest, $15 is not a lot of money, especially in today's economy. Like, that's maybe 2 cups of coffee at a commercial name brand coffee place. 2 cups of like nice coffee with cream and sugar and all the stuff on it. You can invest that. I think I'm going to be doing that from now on, investing like $15 a week, or maybe like 12, no more than $20 a week to boost posts and to get eyes on my Instagram, account, and hopefully that'll translate to people clicking on my YouTube channel link and whatever. I will let you know, but I'm not going to go to one of those funky ass companies and buy followers. Like, no. But I will do something legitimate, like buy advertising or boost a post. And I did that, and I'm letting you know, they won't even, they will not acknowledge your existence for less than about $12 per boost. Okay, so that's, like I told you in prior videos, if I learn something, that means you're going to learn something too. And that's that. Okay, now I'm going to go have a sip of coffee. I'll come back, and then we can talk all kinds of shit about Napoleon and Ridley Scott. So hold on and stay tuned, you guys. Once again, thank you. Thank you for getting me over 1,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay, you guys, here we are. I did all this, like I said, extended church announcements, and what have you. And let's talk. Let's talk about this. Have your own little cup of coffee ready, and whatever. It is time to talk about this. This goddamn thing. Deep breath. Napoleon 2023 film. I'll just read the first paragraph of the intro. Not going to do all that reading today, because you can do that on your own. You can go, I'll leave this in the description. And you know what? I'll leave all of these wonderful people, their YouTube channels and their websites and everything. I will leave all of that in the description too, if you want to go over there, so you don't have to poke around and try and find it on your own. But you can read this on your own. I don't even know if I'm going to read the plot of this cockamamie movie. It looks like cockamamie to me, because I don't know what the point of this whole thing was. I really don't know. Anyway, Napoleon is a 2023 epic historical drama film directed and produced by Ridley Scott and written by David Scarpa. Okay. Based on the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, primarily depicting the French leader's rise to power, as well as his relationship with Empress Josephine. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon and Vanessa Kirby as Josephine. Okay, cool. And I guess this is the poster. Over here on the right, it says he came from nothing, he conquered everything. All right. Okay. Again, I'm not going to read this plot. You can do this on your own. But there's the stuff that I've looked at, the stuff that I've read about the movie. First of all, I've seen the word C-U-C-K used a little bit too much with regard to the Napoleon character. I'll just say it. I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Cuck. And regarding Napoleon's relationship with Josephine and the way she treated him, and, she cheated on him. He was obsessed with her, and she cheated on him, and whatever. Woo. I don't know how to feel about that. All right, I don't know how to feel about that. There's seems to be according to the the word on the curb, seems to be a lot of that in this movie. Not like, it's not a pornographic movie, but they concentrate on Josephine and Napoleon's relationship and how he was nuts about her and she just didn't give one single solitary flying shit about him. Their copy. Listen. I believe that Ridley and whoever helped him do this, ooh, they're basically ripping off Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick I've talked about this before. Stanley Kubrick wanted to make a Napoleon movie, a 3-hour epic Napoleon movie that never got made because Warner Brothers would not put up the coin for him to do it. And that effectively decapitated the Napoleon project that Stanley was working on. But here we are with what looks to me, reading the plot and reading the reviews and the good, the bad, and the ugly reactions to this movie, it looks like he's ripping off. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. I really want to see those comments. But it looks like he's in large part ripping off Stanley's script for the movie, which I will include in the description for you to look at in your own time. I don't know what's going on. I am sick and freaking tired. Okay? I am sick and freaking tired of people dissing, insulting, unnecessarily being rude and what have you towards Stanley. What did he do? Other than make amazing movies, what did he do that pissed all these people off? Not just like his competition or, people like Stephen King, who God knows what's wrong with him. But like people who starred in his movies, a lot of his actors in his movies, they're very complimentary towards him. I was going to say especially Shelley Duvall. She's never said one bad word about Stanley Kubrick. She always said she learned so much from him, and it was a difficult experience, yes, but it was a wonderful experience, and she wouldn't take it back or whatever. Okay, but then you got somebody like what's his face who played Alex DeLarge in Clockwork Orange talking shit. Yes. And stuff like that. Why? And his friend, and I believe this is an attempt to disrespect Stanley Kubrick and his memory, because I also mentioned in one of my videos that Steven Spielberg back in 2013 was talking about doing a Napoleon miniseries that I believe is supposed to be based off of Stanley's script and or concept for the movie that he wanted to do. And I believe that Ridley Scott is maybe trying to beat Steven Spielberg to the punch. That's what I think is going on here. I think this has nothing to do with wanting to make an insightful and intriguing and interesting and whatever movie about the life of this legendary military leader and personality, Napoleon Bonaparte. No. I think it's just about beating somebody to the punch and or disrespecting, once again, Stanley Kubrick. Okay. Stanley Kubrick and or Steven Spielberg. Here's the cast list. Again, I think this is a spite project on Ridley Scott's part and like a vanity project on Joaquin Phoenix's part. Like, what made this man think he could play Napoleon Bonaparte? Really? There's so many other actors that probably could have done a much better job. But no, it has to be this dude. Why? I said it out loud. I don't give a shit. Okay? I said what I said, as the great Nene Leakes would say. I said what I said. Okay, if they're going to cast Napoleon, why does it have to be this one? Ooh. Does he chew up the scenery? I bet he does. There's production and development, filming and whatever, release, reception. Okay. I don't know about the reception and like these budget numbers and whether or not they broke even or what. They probably did. That's not my point here. I don't care about how much money they spent and how much money they made. That's not what this is about. The critical response, like I said, this is interesting. Like the French people are pissed because there was all kinds of inaccuracies. That's what I have also read. You can go and find the articles yourself. The French are just like, really? Really, Ridley? Critical response. I'll read this because this is some good tea. Or coffee. whatever you prefer. On the review aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes, 60% of 256 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.3 over 10. That's a D. And depending on where you're taking classes, it might even be a high F. Please, if I got a 63% on an exam, I would be beside myself. But that's just how I was in school. I was very serious about my studies. But I would be beside myself with grief and shame. But anyway, the website's consensus reads, quote, Ridley Scott is intent on proving the emperor has no clothes in Napoleon. See, that's the problem. Why he's dissing Steven Spielberg, he's dissing Stanley Kubrick, and he's dissing Napoleon. Why? Just because he's English? Is that why? That's not a good enough reason. Okay, 2 centuries later, was it 2 centuries? Yeah, 2 centuries later, after Napoleon's death, there's really no reason to still be angry about whatever happened back then. If you're English. Oh, for God's sake. But anyway, Ridley Scott is intent on proving the emperor has no clothes in Napoleon. A slyly funny, okay, a slyly funny epic with bravura, set pieces whose divided runtime keeps it from outright conquering. End quote. Okay. Slyly funny with bravura set play. Okay, all right. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 64. Not much better. Okay, it's like 1 more point. That's all they get. 1 more point. Assigned the film a score of 64 out of 100, based on 57 critics, indicating generally favorable. Wait a minute. What do the young people say nowadays? They playing in our faces with this here. How is 64 out of 100 generally favorable? One more time, y'all. If you've been to school, you know this. A 64 out of 100 on an exam? Shame. That's what you should feel. Shame. If you got a 64. That's a D. That's a D. That's the kind of student. Listen, don't ask me how I know about this. But if you get a student who gets a D on their exam, they don't even care. Because they weren't even trying. Okay? The ones that you really have to worry about as a teacher or a professor or whatever, and again, I know this because I know this, the ones that you really need to worry about, like the ones who might freak out and cause trouble for you, are the ones who believe they deserve an A. You know, they got a B, and they're one of those like second place is first loser kind of people. They just can't. No, so the crazy ones are the ones who, or you know, the craziest ones, who the real crazy ones are, and you've probably met some of these during your educational career. Doesn't matter when or how it ended, but like when you went to school, you probably met one of these people. Somebody who got like a 91 or something like that, like an A- on an exam, and they believe that they deserve a 100. Ooh, they're going to find out where you live. Okay? They're going to find those ones. Worry about them. But anyway, if the people who get D's on exams and their classes, they don't give a shit. They didn't study. They didn't come to class. Nothing. All right? So, anyway, generally favorable reviews. My ass. 64 out of 100 is not favorable in any way, shape, or form conceivable. How dare you, Wikipedia? Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B- on an A. Well, I was talking about grades now, wasn't I? Right before I read this. B-, on an A+ to F scale. Really? But somehow 64 out of 100 is generally favorable. No, that's shameful. And a B-. What? B-. Ridley Scott, as famous as he is, shouldn't be getting no B minuses. I am so sorry. That's like Mike Tyson losing a fight. No, absolutely not. While those polled by Post Track gave it a 72. There you go, a C. All right, so we got two D's, a low C, and a B minus. I'm not going to calculate this movie's GPA, but maybe if it was a student, it should maybe consider dropping out of college at this point because it's just not working for you. 72% overall positive score with 46% saying they would definitely recommend. 46. Okay, that's a good solid F. Saying they would definitely recommend the film. Only 46 people said, and those numbers are inflated. Don't believe a goddamn thing you read on the internet. It's all lies. All right. I'm saying that it's probably worse than they're saying. That's what I'm saying. They say 6.3 out of 10, 64 out of 100, B minus, 72%. They're trying to make this look a lot better than it really is. They're trying to polish a turd is what they're trying to do here. I don't believe this for 1 second. Anyway, let me keep it moving. Critics praised the film's epic scale, battle scenes, and Phoenix and Kirby's performances, while some took issue with the length and Scott's bloated direction. French critics had a less enthusiastic view than those from Britain and America considering Napoleon. Quote, lazy, pointless, boring, migraine-inducing. Migraine-inducing, too short, and historically inaccurate. So see, French people don't give a shit. They just tell you how they really feel. A review in Le Figaro stated that the film could have been called... Oh my God. Oh, this is bad. I'll start again. A review in Le Figaro stated that the film could have been called Barbie and Ken Under the Empire. Oh my God. And another in the French edition of GQ deemed it to be, quote, deeply clumsy, unnatural, and unintentionally funny, end quote. Ooh, that's bad. That's real bad. Patrice Genifet, a leading historian in the Napoleonic studies, called the movie very anti-French and very pro-British in an interview to Le Point. Okay. All right. Well, why? But why though? Like I said, it's been over 2 centuries. Like, there's no reason. There's really no reason at this point in history for anybody to be sore about anything that happened during the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, seriously. Okay, writing in The Guardian, Peter Bradshaw gave the film a full 5-star. Really? Oh, for God's sake. Okay. I'll start again. Writing in The Guardian, Peter Bradshaw gave the film a full 5 stars and called it a, quote, thrilling biopic, end quote. Really? Thrilling. Oh. You know what I'm thinking. You could probably tell what I'm thinking. I don't believe this man for 1 second. Peter Bradshaw. Peter, how much did they pay you to say this? Thrilling biopic. Like what kind of like fruit basket did they send him? I want to know. What kind of fruit basket, muffin basket, edible arrangement, like, did they send him? Ay, ay, ay. Ooh. Anyway, called it a thrilling biopic, concluding that Scott doesn't withhold the old-fashioned pleasures of spectacle and excitement. Phoenix is the key to it all, a performance as robust as the glass of Burgundy he knocks back, preening, brooding, seething, and triumphing. Oh, Lord, this sounds like some bullshit to me. I don't know about y'all. Writing in The Observer, Wendy Ide gave it 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Wait a minute now. That's still a 60%. That's still a D. 3 out of 5. They make that sound like it's good. It ain't. If somebody told you that a restaurant had 3 out of 5 stars, would you go there and risk your life and have your taste buds insulted by some 3 out of 5 rated cuisine? I wouldn't. Anyway, writing in The Observer, Wendy Ide gave it 3 out of 5, calling it a sturdy epic that struggled to, quote, show us what drove the military mastermind, end quote. She continued, quote, a man, even a man as combative as Napoleon, amounts to more than the battles he has fought. And it is in this respect that the film is less successful, end quote. Well, at least she's being somewhat honest. Okay, the BBC's Nicholas Barber found the film's battle sequences spectacular, quote unquote spectacular, and also praised the performances of Kirby and Phoenix. Okay. Johnny Oleksinski of the New York Post wrote, quote, it's too bad Scott could not deliver a brilliant character study of one of the world's great military leaders, and instead settled for letting a self-indulgent Phoenix fly over the cuckoo's nest, end quote. Ooh. See, that's some good shade. And Cuckoo's Nest, the second I think of Cuckoo's Nest, I immediately and automatically think of the movie starring Jack Nicholson, based on Ken Kesey's book. Was it Ken Kesey? Okay, yeah, whatever. But the Phoenix fly over the cuckoo's nest, like this some, y'all, if you're a shade aficionado, that's some good shade. Because they're saying that Joaquin Phoenix wishes he was Jack Nicholson. I think that's what they might be saying with this one. There's only one Jack Nicholson. There's only one Jack Nicholson. I told you this is a vanity project for Mr. Phoenix. Time Out's Phil de Semilan gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, another D, writing that, quote, Ridley Scott's beefy account of Napoleon's rise to power looks great, is served with some panache, but crucially lacks flavor. Ooh, end quote. Ooh, Lord. And then there's this whole thing about the historical accuracy. I'm not so much concerned personally with the historical accuracy, because when and if you take a look at Stanley's Napoleon script, I don't think Stanley was concerned that much with historical accuracy either, because we already talked about in the comments and in, I think in one of my videos too, we discussed the issue of the teddy bear. Okay. And I haven't even gathered my shit together to do a video about teddy bears. But let me just, you can very safely not assume, you can know and take that with you, the knowledge that there was no such thing as teddy bears in Napoleon's lifetime. There was no such thing as teddy bears before the life of Theodore Roosevelt, after whom they're named. Okay? There was no such thing before the last part of the 19th century. There was no such thing as stuffed animals, as toys. Period. You can take that to the bank. I've looked it up. I'm sure of it. So Stanley including a teddy bear in not just the beginning, but also the end of his epic movie about Napoleon Bonaparte is extremely historically inaccurate. But knowing our Stanley, that teddy bear was there for a reason. Okay? And I think I talked about that in the context of Eyes Wide Shut. There's a lot of Napoleon. There's a lot of what Stanley wanted to do with Napoleon. It's an Eyes Wide Shut. With, like I said, Helena. Napoleon died on St. Helena, the island. And the little girl, Bill and Alice's daughter, is named Helena in Eyes Wide Shut. And she shows interest in a teddy bear at the end of the movie when they're in the toy store. And, you know, that's not a coincidence. Come on now. We're dealing with Stanley Kubrick. But, you know, historical accuracy, I'm not that. The French And, Napoleon was French, but I mean, really, he was Corsican, and the Corsican people are very similar to the Sicilian people. On the toe, off the toe of Italy's boot, they consider themselves like their own nation. So I don't know exactly when Corsica uh, oh, for God's sake, I'm an ignorant fool. Wait a minute. Is Corsica supposed to be France or Italy? I think it's French. Yeah, I think it's French. I think Corsica belongs to France. But that happened from what, oh my, I've been reading a little bit, so please forgive me if I'm ignorant about some things. And my brain is scrambled anyway, and I read a lot of stuff and it all gets mashed together. So I think Corsica became part of France in Napoleon's lifetime, but not at the beginning of Napoleon's lifetime. I think towards the end of Napoleon's life. And I don't even know whether or not Napoleon had a hand in that. Don't ask me nothing. But Napoleon was Corsican. So, first of all, the Corsican people think of themselves not as French, not as Italian. They think of themselves as Corsican. All right. And just kind of like, Portuguese people. Please don't confuse them with Spanish people. For God's sake, Portugal is its own country with its own culture and its own history and everything, ethnicity, everything. So, that's calling a Portuguese person Spanish would be very similar to calling a Corsican person either Italian or French. Just not okay. Not okay. So there's that. But I'm not so much concerned with historical accuracy for a director like a Stanley Kubrick, like a David Lynch, like a Quentin Tarantino, like a Alfred Hitchcock. Like these men, well, these filmmakers were playing on a whole nother level. It wasn't about historical accuracy. They were playing very, 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 some might even say kind of a risky, dangerous game with the very idea of narrative and narrative structure and artwork of whatever kind being presented in a narrative form. So when they put something in their film, don't worry about the accuracy. You have to analyze that object, item, thing, or that situation, or that, whatever, in the context of that movie and whatever that artist/filmmaker is trying to do. Okay, so like if you look at Eraserhead and you're looking for any kind of accuracy, I just don't know why you're there. If you're looking at a Stanley Kubrick movie and you want it to conform to reality, why are you there? No, absolutely not. But anyway, I'm done talking shit about the movie itself by looking at the Wikipedia page. Like I said, I think Ridley Scott, this is a spite project for him, or he's not. This movie was not made for a good reason. No, it's a spite project for him, a vanity project for Joaquin Phoenix, and what else did I say? And just a slap in the face to Stanley Kubrick and his memory and his career, and possibly also a slap in the face to Steven Spielberg too, because they're trying to copy what Stanley was trying to do, and I don't know why. I don't know why, because when I look at this and I read the plot and I read the reviews and everything, I've read this. Here it is over here. No, not here. Gosh, Napoleon, the screenplay by Stanley Kubrick. There it is. Okay, Stanley Kubrick does concentrate a great deal on Napoleon's relationship with Josephine. Okay, he does. He absolutely, and Josephine being, I'll just say it because that's what got me monetized. Josephine being a hoe, all right, and just cheating on him, and according to, at least according to Stanley's version of it, just outwardly disdaining and viewing Napoleon Bonaparte with like this huge amount of contempt. I don't know what the hell was wrong with Josephine. Like she just like, why did he love her? Why did he fall in love with her in the first place? She's horrible. She's absolutely horrible. But I don't know. She represented something to him. So sometimes when we fall in love with people, especially when we're young and we're very stupid, we're not really even in love with that person. We're in love with what they represent to us. They're a projection of something that we wish we could be, or we're not in love with them. We're in love with the idea of them, and maybe that's based on their background or their education or their physical appearance or the way they carry themselves or whatever. But you're not in love with the person. You're in love with what you think they are or what you would like them to be or what they represent to you. They represent maybe your ideals or your aspirations or your whatever, but you're not really in love with the person. Again, this especially goes for young people. And Napoleon, I think he was pretty young when he met her and got together with her, and Josephine was a terrible, kind of just detestable character. Whether you're looking at Stanley Kubrick's script or just the biographies and reading about them like this on the internet, she was a terrible social climber. She was if she was born and alive in this day and age, she would be, what do they call them? A yachter? A yacht girl? Yacht, like the boats. She would be only concerned with promoting herself and getting herself married to somebody, not just somebody wealthy, but somebody who belongs to a certain class, probably the aristocracy, nobility, whatever you want to call them. She was a horrible social climber and just kind of a reptile. She seems to have that kind of vibe going on. Kind of like I used to watch these shows a lot, The Real Housewives and stuff like that. Those women, where everything is about image and the kind of clothes you wear, the kind of house you live in, the kind of car you drive, and your social clout and power. That's what Josephine was. But she was playing with these people in the aristocracy, and she seems to have had no morals and no no ethical compass of any kind. And the name of her game was to use her body and her looks and sex appeal or whatever to get herself in a relationship with a man who she felt was being connected to that man or married to that man or in a relationship with that man. It was in and of itself some kind of achievement for her. She's one of those bitches. Okay, very similar to the Alice character in Eyes Wide Shut. What did I say? The 5 movies he made after 2001. I won't say that Kubrick made them out of spite, but he included elements of what he wished he could have included in his Napoleon movie, in those 5 movies that he made: Clockwork, Lyndon, Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and Eyes Wide Shut. And the Alice character in Eyes Wide Shut, pure Josephine. Okay, pure Josephine. There's this article here. Of course, I'm not going to talk about the Napoleon's life. I don't have that kind of time, but I'm going to leave this in the description. And and there's plenty of these epic portraits of him in his in the Wikipedia page. Do they have the equestrian portrait, the famous one where this horse is bucking on its hind legs and he just looks like he couldn't give a damn. He looks cool and calm and collected, and the horse is like losing its shit. I don't know. I wish I could find that here because it's famous. Oh, look at him. Oh, dear God. Why would you paint a Maybe I need to do a separate video about the depictions of Napoleon in art by the contemporary artists of the time. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea. I really would like to. And just, if you want to talk about historical accuracy, these people, no shade to the French. No, I'm not trying to insult them, but they're obsessed with historical accuracy. Well, okay, French people, if you're obsessed with historical accuracy, then, explain paintings like this, please. Please explain paintings like this. There's no accuracy here. Absolutely not. But I digress. Where was I going with this and why? If you want me to do like use my skills, my professional art nerd skills, to analyze historical paintings with images of Napoleon, let me know. I might be into that. But there's this Vice article. I've featured it before. Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon, a lot of work, very little actual movie. When you read these articles about the preparations, Lord in heaven, the preparations that Stanley Kubrick did on a movie that he ended up never making. Oh my God. Oh my good God in heaven. It is mind-boggling, the amount of time and care and consideration and everything that he put into a movie he ended up not making. It's crazy. Anyway, we talked to Tony Frewen, Kubrick's assistant from 1965 until his death, about what it was like to be caught up in the director's Napoleonic vortex. This is a damn good article, and I urge you to read it because you're going to learn something. I promise you that. This first paragraph: one night during the pre-production phase on A Clockwork Orange, Malcolm McDowell, that's him, that's the one, Alex Dillarge. Malcolm McDowell asked Stanley Kubrick why he was eating ice cream at the same time as his main course steak. What's the difference? Said Kubrick. It's all food. This is how Napoleon used to eat. And Christiane Kubrick and the daughters took issue with Malcolm McDowell saying this. They did. They right after Stanley's death, that interview that I read with the Christiane and the daughters after Stanley Kubrick's death, and they mentioned this, and they mentioned somebody who said something about the way Stanley ate his food. That was this guy. That was Malcolm McDowell. Of course they took issue with it. Like, why would you? Why would you even bring up something like that? The only point to this statement is to make him look crazy. That's it. But anyway, that's another, I guess, discussion for another time. But if that's what he said, if now again, I'm doubting. I can't doubt him all the way. He didn't just pull Napoleon out of his ass. But if Stanley did say this, it's all food. This is how Napoleon used to eat. That should tell you how obsessed Stanley Kubrick was with Napoleon and the idea of making the Napoleon movie. And this was when he was doing A Clockwork Orange. He was probably, I don't know if he had been rejected yet by Warner Brothers or if he was in the process of doing all of his crazy amounts of research to prepare for the movie. But obviously Napoleon was on his mind at this time. If he said something like this, wow, okay, and this says, well, that's how McDowell tells it anyway. Okay, cool. All right, that to Vice's credit, at least they're acknowledging that maybe McDowell is not the most reliable source. Okay. There are lots of near mythical stories about Kubrick's comprehensive research. Yup. That he was probably the most meticulous of film directors known to man is not open to debate, and Napoleon, the film he tried and failed to make for decades, is the best example of his attention to detail. Kubrick believed nobody had ever made a great historical film, and planned to change this with a 3-hour epic telling the story of the French emperor's entire life. Okay. Now, this is an old article, seems like. Yeah, from 2010. That's why all these images are missing, with the little question marks and what have you. Again, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. You can do that. But look at some of the little things here. He gathered together 15,000 location scouting photos and 17,000 slides of Napoleonic imagery. Okay. Did you hear that, Ridley? Did you do that? Did you do this? Ridley. I hope you just didn't go into the Stanley Kubrick archive and just pilfer Kubrick's work. I really hope you didn't do that. I didn't even think of that until now. I I didn't even think about that until now. Oh. Anyway, he would shoot the film in France and Italy for their grand locations and Yugoslavia for their cheap armies. Okay. Um these were pre-CG days, and he arranged to borrow 40,000 Romanian infantry and 10,000 cavalry for the battles. Okay. Now you're seeing a little bit of what was going on here. He wanted David Hemmings and Audrey Hepburn for the leads, with Alec Guinness and Laurence Olivier as supporting characters, but it all came crashing down when, partly as a result of another Napoleon film, Waterloo, being released in 1970, studios decided Kubrick's dream was too financially risky. In the early 1980s, he still talked of wanting to make the film, but it wasn't to be. Although he died in 1999, there's a chance his vision may see the light of day. It's been offered. Now, again, this is in 2010. They were writing this. It's been offered to the likes of Ridley Scott and Ang Lee. By who? Can you tell us that, Vice? It says it's been offered to the likes of Ridley Scott and Ang Lee. But by who? Who's it being offered by? Warner Brothers? If it was Warner Brothers, I could just slap them. Anyway, you can make it yourself if you want, as every single bit of information pertaining to the project has recently been published in the form of a book called Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon, the Greatest Movie Never Made. It's 10 books in one, literally, with 9 books sitting inside one enormous carved-out fake book. That's an interesting way to present it. Limited to 1,000 copies and cost $1,000. Oh, no, it costs more. I'll show you. All the location scouting photos, all the research. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Ridley Scott probably got himself a copy of that and went to town, as they say here in America. And this is the interview with Tony Freeman. I'll probably return back to this at some other time. I'm going to talk about this more in the future. I sure am. Okay. I want to. I'm trying to look for something. Never mind. Okay, but read the script. This is another article, 2013. Read Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon script and peruse his plans for world domination. Okay, this is where I think I got this script, the link to it. The production memos are the interesting part. Okay, the script itself is interesting, but the production memos are just as interesting. And here it is. Here is the script. Okay, this is the Napoleon script. And I think the date on this thing is 1969, but yeah, September 29th, 1969. Okay, and you can read, it's 155 pages, all right? And a lot of this at the end. Oh, Lord, come on. My scrolling capabilities are not what I'd like them to be. But at the very end, the last, I don't know how many pages of the script, is not script, it is production notes, as they call them. And Stanley had this all worked out. Okay? He didn't like, he seemed to have left nothing to chance. All right, production notes. Okay, so this is the end. Okay, with the teddy bear Napoleon slept with as a child. Again, what was Stanley trying to do with that? There's no doubt in my mind that Stanley knew that there was no such things as teddy bears in the early 19th and late 18th century. No. But he put it in there anyway. Okay. Napoleon production notes. Look at this. Look at this, the schedule. The however many extras. The daily cost of a costume extra in England is $19.20. Now this is in the late 60s, mind you. In Spain, $14.28. In Italy, $24, and in France, $24.30. Okay. We have received a bid from Yugoslavia to provide up to the same numbers at $5 per man. Both prices also apply to lesser number. Okay. Wow. Wow. This is the uniforms, and he talks about how much per uniform is going to cost to make the costumes. $4. We have done film and they did this, on different fabrics. This is fascinating. I'm not going to read it all. Oh, look at this. Fortunately, they are complaining. Okay. In addition to this, I intend to exploit to the fullest the front projection techniques I developed during the production of 2001. I have several new ideas for enhancing its usefulness and making operations even more economical. Wow. Wow. Again, this needs to be cherished, this script, as kind of a view into Stanley's mind. And how he thought about things, how he worked, how he brought all of this together. And by the way, this is just his plan. This is just the blueprint for the movie. Like, can you just imagine what this would have been like while it was being executed by Stanley and his assistants and his crew and all the people? Here's the preparations thus far portion of the production notes section of the script. A great deal of preliminary preparation has already taken place, and I would like to briefly outline what this has been. A picture file of approximately 15,000 Napoleonic subjects has been collected, catalogued, and indexed on IBM Aperture cards. The retrieval system is based on subject classification, but a special visual signaling method allows cross-indexing to any degree of complexity. Oh, shit. Okay. David Walker, who is leading costume designer in England, has been preparing research and making sketches. Because of the very provocative see-through dresses and bare bosoms of the Directoire period, the film will have some very notable costumes. Oh, he was going to show the world some titties, honey. Oh, Lord. Military uniform prototypes. Okay. Extensive location research. The services of Professor Felix Markham have been engaged as, oh, look at this, as principal historical advisor, and the rights to his biography of Napoleon has been purchased. Okay. Professor Markham has devoted some 30 years of work to the period and is one of the outstanding living Napoleonic scholars writing in English. Okay. All right. The rights to his book also establish a known work on which to legally base the screenplay and should help to avoid the usual claims. Oh, shit, look at this. And should help to avoid the usual claims from the endless number of people who have written Napoleonic books. Well, see, Stanley was prepared for everything. Number 6, master biographical file on the principal 50 characters. Okay. A library of approximately 500 Napoleonic books has been set up, catalogued, and indexed, and is available for my own use and anyone else on the production. These books contain the key memoirs and the principal biographies available in English. Oh, okay. An extremely fast lens, which will cover a 70mm format. This will allow shooting to continue on exterior locations beyond the normal hour, where the light becomes photographically inadequate. Okay, all right. Well, damn. He thought of everything. And now I'm going to end this by directing you towards this here. Damn this limited preview. And I'm not willing to log into my account at this point. But this is it. This is the book that was mentioned in one of the articles I just mentioned to you. Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon, the greatest movie never made. Look at this. Okay. This single volume publication is based on the original limited collector's edition, which featured 10 books hidden inside a carved out reproduction of a Napoleon history book. Herein are reproduced all of the books from the original edition in facsimile. Okay. What the hell? It includes fascism of the final draft of Napoleon. Is there another meaning to the word fascism? Does that mean like bookbinding or something? What's going on? But anyway, unfortunately, you can't just look at this here. You could probably have to log in. No suitable files to display here. 14-day loan required to access PDF file. Really? I might just have to do this if it's available. Now, Lord, I hope it's available. But if Archive is going to be a jerk about it, there's always Amazon, and I told you it is no longer $1,000. This thing I found is this a Taschen book or what have you. Let me see. For 40 years, Kubrick fans and film buffs have wondered about the director's mysterious, unmade film on Napoleon Bonaparte. Well, anyway, look at the price. Look at it. Hardcover, November 17th, 2009. Hardcover, $5,000. New. Brand new, I guess. $5,000. Collectible, $10,000. Okay. And it says right here in the description of this book, wait. Slated for production immediately following the release of 2001, A Space Odyssey, Kubrick's Napoleon was to be, at once, a character study and a sweeping epic, replete with grandiose battle scenes featuring thousands of extras. Well, damn. All right. To write his original screenplay, Kubrick embarked on 2 years of intensive research. With the help of dozens of assistants and an Oxford Napoleon specialist, he amassed an unparalleled trove of research and pre-production material, including approximately 15,000 location scouting photographs and 17,000 slides of Napoleonic imagery. No stone was left unturned in Kubrick's nearly obsessive quest to uncover every piece of information history had to offer about Napoleon. But alas, Kubrick's movie was not destined to be. The film studios, first MGM and then United Artists, decided such an undertaking was too risky at a time when historical epics were out of fashion. But they made Waterloo. Okay, never mind. Taschen's sumptuous limited edition tribute to this unmade masterpiece makes Kubrick's valiant work on Napoleon available to fans for the first time. Herein, readers can peruse a selection of Kubrick's correspondence, various costume studies, location scouting photographs, research materials, script drafts, and more, each category of material in its own book. Kubrick's final draft is reproduced in facsimile, while the other texts are tidily kennelled into one volume where they dare not interfere with the visual material. All of these books are tucked inside of, or shall we say hiding in, a carved-out reproduction of a Napoleon history book. The textbook features the complete original treatment, essays examining the screenplay in historical and dramatic context, an essay by Jean Toulard on Napoleon in cinema, and a transcript of interviews Kubrick conducted with Oxford professor Felix Markham. The culmination of years of research and preparation, this unique publication offers readers a chance to experience the creative process of one of cinema's greatest talents, as well as a fascinating exploration of the enigmatic figure that was Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay. This fascinates me, but is too much money. All right, way too much money. Let me check out the pictures because I'm nosy. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so that's the whole thing. All right. That's okay. There's this. There's this. Oh, Christmas is coming up, y'all. If anybody would like, who was it? Was it one of y'all? Was it one of my good friends here on YouTube that said maybe I should take up a GoFundMe collection just so I could buy this book and the other one by the other dude that did I think it was the Shining one. Oh my God. No, y'all need to send me lots of money. Look at this though. It's if I'm gonna afford shit like this. Oh God, no. I don't need a collector's edition. I'll be very happy with the $5,000 version. Okay. I'll be very, very, very pleased if I could afford the $5,000 version. This and again the Unkrich book for The Shining. Oh, see, Christmas is coming up. I need some subscribers. I need to make a little bit more than 24 cents per day on YouTube to be able to afford something like this. But again, I'll try to log in, see what they got on archive.org, and I will let you know. I talked a lot of shit in this video, and I don't regret one single solitary second of it. I said what I said. I said what I had to say. I don't like this because, again, this looks like some this looks like some fuckery to me. All right, just because I'm monetized doesn't mean I'm not going to be myself anymore. Okay, I'm not going to go Hollywood on you all. But something ain't right. Does that make any sense to you all? Something is telling me that something is terribly wrong. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I believe that if I could, I would have to wash it. Okay? There's some foolery, fakery, fuckery going on with this Ridley Scott Napoleon project. The Friendshipist. Okay, and that should tell you something. That should tell you something. And people are talking about historical accuracy. Oh my God. And he's getting D's and shit on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic and whatever. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. I hope and I wish that Steven Spielberg would hurry up and make his Napoleon miniseries in honor of his late friend Stanley Kubrick. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. For some reason, this Napoleon figure is important to history. Okay? And again, people like Ridley Scott want to make Napoleon look bad. I don't know why. I don't believe that Stanley wanted to make Napoleon look bad. No, I think that Stanley was fascinated with Napoleon because Napoleon was a fascinating character. He achieved so much. And all of these odds were stacked against him, his background, his upbringing, his social status and whatever. And this Josephine relationship, again, I think she represented something to him. Something to do with his ambitions. Okay, and whatever those were or really were or what have you. The fact that he coronated himself, basically, if you look at the story here, that was scandalous. Okay, he placed the crown on his own head, and that simply wasn't done. If I'm not mistaken, you all correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I welcome it. Don't be jerks about it, please don't, because I've had some jerky ass comments lately, and you don't need to talk like that to me, really. But I think traditionally a monarch is coronated by some kind of religious figure. In this part of history, probably the Pope, but I don't want to get it wrong. If I'm mistaken, let me know. But Napoleon crowned himself, honey. Napoleon coronated himself. Napoleon was playing on a whole nother level. It wasn't just about power or seizing power by force, by military might, and strategy and what have you. No, it was more than just about seizing power. It was more than just about seizing power. It was about accomplishing something. And I think that Stanley was keyed into that. Stanley knew there was something about this Napoleon figure, character, person, historical personality, that there's our Stanley. And it wasn't just about his ambition either. He wasn't like this sociopath or this megalomaniac or whatever. There was something going on, much more than meets the eye, with regard to Napoleon's available biography in whatever source, whatever place it's available, whether it's online or books or whatever. There's something else going on with Napoleon. And, Stanley was fascinated by Napoleon. That makes me fascinated by Napoleon too, because a lot of times Napoleon is written about and very, quite severely maligned by people who just, do shit like this movie, like Ridley Scott did. I want to know what's going on. I want to know why he was obsessed with Napoleon. I'm gonna keep my eye on this. Okay, like I said, the last 5 films he made in his career, Kubrick, he probably saw the writing on the wall, and he saw that the studios would not, whether it was Warner Brothers or MGM or whoever, would not approve his project. He probably saw the writing on the wall, and he said, okay, all right, if you're not going to let me do my thing, I'm going to do my thing anyway, but I'm going to weave it into these films that I'm making, Clockwork, Linden, Shining, FMJ, and EWS. And again, that's why I think we all need to put our heads together and figure this shit out. The fate of the world might depend upon it. Y'all, I'm serious. Well, kind of. Yes and no. But we need to do something. We need to put our heads together. I know we can figure this out. Analyzing the imagery, the symbolism, the whatever of Stanley Kubrick's entire oeuvre of all of his films, but especially those last 5. I don't know what to do. I'm sick and tired of these dogmatic film analysts online, whether they're on YouTube or wherever else, or in books, or traditional film critics or film historians, who just kind of put it out there for you and say, okay, we figured it out, there's nothing for you to think about. No, absolutely not. They've gotten it wrong. And their motivations are suspect, if you ask me. There, I said it. I said what I said, and I'll say it again. I don't trust them. Not even a little bit. So we need to put our heads together. In my comments, that's a good place. I might have to start a Discord. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I might have to start a Discord or some kind of chat thing where we can exchange ideas. Okay, you guys, I'm going to have to wrap up this movie. There's been interruption after interruption after interruption. But anyway, like I said, we got to put our heads together and figure this out. So I will restate my church announcements. Hope you enjoyed the coffee. Thank you for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers and more, 1,000 plus. I appreciate it so much. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate all of you so very much. Please check out all of my friends' YouTube channels and websites and everything here. All this will be in the description. Okay. We're going to talk more about this. We sure are. We sure are. We're going to figure this out. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Ridley Scott movie, about Stanley's unrealized project, about Napoleon himself and his biography, the English perspective, the French perspective, the Corsican perspective, all of that. Let me know if you would enjoy the idea of starting a thing on Discord or Telegram or something like that. I'm even toying, now that I'm monetized, I'm even toying with doing subscriptions. Subscriptions, memberships, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. It might take a couple of months for, coffee breaks that are meant for just people who are members of the channel. I'm not there yet. Don't worry. I'm not going to go Hollywood. I'm not going to monetize that aspect of it yet. But, you know, we need to put our heads together and figure this out. This is important. This is extremely important. What's going on and why? What is going on and why? Why was Stanley so very fascinated with the Napoleon figure? And why are so many people so hell-bent on disrespecting Stanley and disrespecting Napoleon, and in the process disrespecting people like Steven Spielberg too? That's what I want to know. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I think I'm done for now. I've been talking for over an hour and a half. So until next time, until I find yet another reason to talk at you in one of these videos, I will go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.